So I see so many golfers get the arms working poorly in the backswing that then causes issues in the downswing. Most golfers I see will get this trail arm almost chicken winging a bit in the backswing, so the arm doesn't kind of fold or work externally, as we'd like to call it, correctly in the backswing. So then you can't get this kind of sexy move on the way down, which we see all the best players do. Today I want to share with you a couple of real unusual secrets within the arm positioning and the trail hand positioning, and a way of practicing so you get the feels of this that can really transform your golf. So as we just described, I see a lot of golfers will tend to widen these arms a little bit too much in the backswing. This trail arm overruns, then in the downswing it works this way. So what we want to see in the downswing is the trail arm very much working under this lead arm. That's the shallowing, the dynamic move that gets the club and the mass working behind you, which gives you all the freebies of the torque and everything speed-wise to hit beautiful golf shots. We see so many players, and I had a player in yesterday, that the trail arm will tend to do this just a tiny bit. And he's an excellent player. You know, this is a plus golfer, but the trail arm hasn't worked this way enough. Then what happens as a consequence when you're here, you then tend to get a little bit thrusty with your hips. The handle will raise a little bit and you get a little bit handsy through the golf ball. So the kind of shots you can hit from that are big block shots, big hook shots. And if you're not as talented as these guys when they really extend to correct it, they'll tend to be over the top wipers of the golf ball, which again, pretty horrible feels. So in order for this arm to work correctly, there's an important discovery that I've kind of made using a device, that when the right hand sits better on the golf club, it allows the arm to work better, more automatically, and that's the key thing. So the device that I use for people with this is a swimming paddle, just straight from Amazon, cheap swimming paddle, nothing expensive. And you put it on the grip like this, and when you put it where your right hand would be, it makes the right hand automatically and right arm automatically sit differently. So it sits like this, and from that then, as you swing the club back, your right arm folds and your right arm works more external and the elbows squeeze more together at the top. And then on the way down, the elbow then is more external and leads more in front of the hip as a byproduct. The negative in this is it's really hard to hit golf balls with this. You can do it, and don't expect a lot with your golf shots. Maybe expect some top shots, some fat shots, some little 40 yards type shots. But what it does do, it really gives you the feels how this arm should work throughout the golf swing. So I'd advise for most people that they would just do practice swings with this. And we're trying to get rid of this kind of movement that is horrible in the golf swing and provides so many poor mechanics of the wrist through the golf ball. But what we learn from this is basically if I take my setup, my elbow sits more naturally into my give blood or my dumbbell position. The right wrist sits a little bit more this way, and it obviously sits a little lower on the handle, which is important. So if we quite simply take away the paddle now and just think, well, how can we adapt that to a normal swing? So if my arm sits in the same way, I almost take my grip with my palm facing the target and the lifeline of my hand pretty much towards my thumb, and that's the mechanics of the wrist. We want to push that shaft the correct way. And I try and adapt the wrist from that. So if I look at my forearm, I put my forearm this way and then just rotate my wrist back to get a more normal grip, I can achieve something close to the same as the paddle. I think the key thing is when a lot of players grip the golf club, and again I had a guy in doing this last week, they try and get the grip perfect. The right arm, right hand gets very this way on top. Now from there, good luck trying to get that arm to go more this way. You know, it's hard. So when we take our grip, lead hand on, almost like the paddle position, then try and get our fingers and thumbs. And if the right hand ends up going in a slightly stronger position, that's not the end of the world. Ideally, if we've got the correct ability in our wrist to rotate it back and we've got long enough fingers, it shouldn't be an issue to get it in the correct position. But just getting that elbow in the correct position there at the start and the hand more situated correctly makes it much easier to get the arm working correctly. So the lessons learned: don't try and get that super weak on top grip high right arm. Really feel the arm is kind of like you're pushing something up to the sky, and then just rotate the fingers and the hand back to where we want it. Then in the swing, the more we can feel that the elbow points almost towards the golf bag, in this case where I'm stood here now, and leads the hips on the way down, the better. The more we can practice those feels, the better you will get at this. So the paddle for me helps those feels, and you can hit shots with it, but it is difficult. So have a go changing your right hand, right arm position to make the elbow arm work differently in the golf swing for much more magical shot.